Try and line it up, shall we? Let's get to the hard part. Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we are loading lime up at the moment, but that's not Henry in there, that's Callum. So Callum's joined us yesterday. He's going to give us a hand till after seeding, and then probably come back at harvest time. So he's doing, he's going to be doing the spreading for us. So we got 700 ton of lime to spread. So we're going out at 2 ton per hectare, and we're doing that to only on one paddock because it's very labour intensive. And so basically with our decision to go where we went is you go off your soil sampling results, and our soil sampling came up that we had low pH in part of this, well, a fair chunk of this paddock. So we were in like high 4s and low 5s, and once it gets under 5 it gets very hard to get your pH back up, and obviously we want to have a good pH around the high 5s, 6s, something like that. So we need lime to help bring that back up. And as you can see, it's lime sand, so it's very, very light, and it just, it blows like one thing. So Cal and Henry combined yesterday did probably, I think, about 40-50 hectares. We're just going to see this morning, make sure that it's spreading the correct pattern out the back. We haven't got drop trays with us, we're just going by eye, and I'll show you when we get out there, you can see it on the ground. And then I am off to Lake Grace because I'm going to go pick up the liquid cart from Earnshaw. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going to grab the truck, make sure it's full of fuel, and then head off up there and get that and bring that back down. And then AFCRI are going to pick that up tomorrow and take that to town because our bin and bar is all built, ready to go. They just need the liquid cart to plumb that up, the liquid system onto hydraulic lines, things like that. So it's all coming together. It's getting there, and we got clouds. Like it looks like it's going to rain, but it's not. It's just for show. We're still waiting for that cyclone to push down and give us some rain. So fingers crossed that happens. As you can see, lime is a very dusty product to spread out, and it's very light, so it's very hard to get it where you want to get it to go. And as I can see here, I'm already having an issue. Alright, so I don't need the drop trays because you can physically see it on the ground. This here is the next run. You can see that there's no white on the ground. If we walk over here, see how we've got white on the ground here. So this here's the lime, and then if you go, we can see it there. As we get to the center, it's not here. Well, it's here, you can see it's here, but it's not like it is on the rest of the paddock. So I'm going to try and adjust something to see if we can get it there, because obviously you don't want to strip your paddock, you want to have as even spread as possible. Tell you what, my next spread is definitely not having wings. They were great, but they're a pain in the ass. Absolute pain in the ass. So anyway, I'll go and adjust something and we'll see if I can get it going a bit better. Bumpy. So what I adjusted was the chute. So we want to get the lime going onto the disc as late as possible. So when you bring that chute down, it blocks it, so it comes on earlier on the disc. So we want it to get on as late as possible. And problem with lime is it's just so light, it's so dusty that as soon as it gets on the disc, it just puffs out and goes. So hopefully this works, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see how that's gone. There is one more thing I can change after this doesn't work. But tell you what, it has worked. So this is the center, and you can see we've got the lime here, just like we do out here. I didn't think that was going to work. All I did was I adjusted the chute all the way out to the extreme, so that's as wide open as it goes. But I reckon I'll set Cal on his way. You can actually see it's actually spitting, it's drizzling. This rain sticks around, it'd be bloody brilliant. But yeah, remember what that just looked like? This is the center from that last run. So that changing that drop point. So it was down on number 4, and now I've got it out at 9. So it's able to shoot the lime out further. So my next option was those actual chutes are on the wrong side, and they had to be on the wrong side for gypsum. But yeah, if I switched it around for lime, it would change a whole lot as well. So I'm going to leave him to go. I'm pretty happy with how that's looking now. So yeah, I need to get on my way to Lake Grace, because tying this liquid cart down is going to take a little while. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to tow it up. The hitch on the liquid cart is quite big, so you can't use a normal hitch off the back of a truck. Now what I'm about to show you is a farmer's abomination, but it's done by a farmer, so you got to give him some leeway. Is this hitch right here? Now this is something we made when we bought the Wildcat, and we towed it back down from Meriden. Now one thing you'll notice, and the only reason, and I can't remember why, but the only reason I can think of is why don't we have the where the weight's sitting? Why didn't I put that over the main bar there? So I have the bolts should be down here, and the only thing I can think of is this was the height of the drawbar on the Wildcat, and we didn't want to lift it higher because it's a very heavy drawbar. That thing is stupid heavy. It puts too much weight forward on machines. Anyway, this is what we came up with. We tied that down absolutely fine. It did put a lot of stress on this. It did flex this quite a lot. Like this bar did flex quite a bit. Pretty dodgy. But we did get it down here, and yeah, it was no worries. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use this. There's no weight on these Earnshaw hitches. It's quite literally just pulling, as you would have seen from last time. There's no weight on them with the way that they're done. So there's no downward pressure on this. It's only just pulling, and when you're pulling, you're coming through. So it should be fine. I've just got to get myself a bolt to go through here, just so that my pin doesn't come up. Now you might be wondering what this is. The bottom half here is off the Sonic. That's the old Sonic pin. I don't know why there's no top hitch on it. Can't remember what happened with that. Oh no, I know why. Because the Sonic was that, and then the John Deere would come in like this. So I had to make it like this. It's an abomination, but it'll do. So let's get this into the truck, get a pin, check I got enough fuel, and head off. Apparently she's full of fuel. Yep, full of fuel. We are ready to make tracks. So going up the back track is it's going to be a bit slow. This first 30, I think it's about 35 k's is really rough, and the reason for that is Lake Tay is up here. So that's where the gypsum mine is. That's where we get all our gypsum. So Lake Tay Road, yeah, it's horrible the whole way to there. And I know this because well, every year it's like that. But last week I guess 2 days ago I just came back from Perth. Just drove down through here because I was coming back from my niece's first birthday party. So yeah, the road is shocking, and it's actually pretty bad going the whole way to the Lake King Norseman Road. It's it just hasn't been maintained. They sort of do it like once a year, and it'll be coming up when they come to do it again. But yeah, at the moment it's getting pretty bad. This particular 30 k's is yeah, it's horrible. I'll only be sitting on about 80 k's on the gravel with the truck, especially because when you're bobtailing, you're so light, you bounce around a fair bit. And then when I come back down with the liquid cart, I'll ask them how fast they sort of travel with it. I'm going to say people sort of travel around that 80 k's, but yeah, I don't know if I'll be going that fast. Definitely won't be on the gravel. It'll definitely be a slow trip on the gravel, but yeah, we'll just see how it goes, see how it tows, and yeah, should be a whole day experience. That's Lake Toe there, so there was, you probably couldn't see it, but there's 3 trucks on their way down there. The road is so bad that they treat it well. They only sit on about 60 k's an hour when they're going along, just to try and preserve the road for everyone. And obviously with the trucks themselves, if they go fast, they're just going to damage them. You end up with losing mudguards and popping tyres and all that sort of stuff, so they do take fairly good care of the road. Anyway, that last truck there is going to be waiting ages to get loaded, because there's only one loader down there, and it's the truckie who loads themselves. It's not manned down there, it's all yeah, all done by the truckie. Gets out, gets in the loader, signs on, does his thing, and takes his ticket, signs it off he goes. So yeah, it's going to take a while for that third truck there before he gets loaded. Anyway, we've got probably another 80 to 90 k's of gravel, and then we're on the bitumen. At least it's graded here, and you might wonder what that cutter grade's for. That's the rabbit-proof fence. So not that it does much anymore in places, but yeah, it's still there. Rightio, look at that. Doesn't a lick of paint just make a world of difference? It just looks fantastic. So again, this is the LC 14,000, so it's 2 7,000 litre tanks with a 1,000 litre flush tank up the front there, and the guys have filled that up nice and full for me to try and reduce the bounce as we're driving home. And then thankfully they had the same, I'll show you that one in a sec, that's got it, but they had the same liquid system that I'm going to be using, and they're able to make up a bracket and chuck it on. So this saved AFCRE having to make it, me shelling out more money to AFCRE, or them welding something on here and screwing up the paint basically. So yeah, basically when AFCRE take it to town, they're going to chuck it on, do the hydraulics, plumb it up from those lines there and there, and I need to plumb up these lines at the back here to where I want to put my filling. Basically, I don't know where I want to fill it from, how I want to fill it. So I've got these two to plumb to somewhere. Now these ones are actually going down to Cascade Mungie as well. So these are the neighbour Kirk Whiting's, and he's gone for the LC 10,000. So it's just one singular 10,000 litre tank, and it's 2 500 litre flush tank, 600 litre flush tanks. Get a bit more water, I suppose. But he's got his liquid system here, so you can see what it looks like. That there is the exact same unit that I'm getting. and you can see how it mounts up there. You've got your filter, your function there, and then out the back here is where it's all controlled, and your hydraulic lines up the top there. So it's yeah, very exciting that I mean, my bar and bin's all built, ready to go, so this is the last piece of the puzzle so that I can hook up all the liquid system and get that all sorted. So plus it's come up awesome. So let's get the truck over and we'll hook her up. There we go. Right, we are currently about 10 k's out of Lake Grace. Two things. It's wide, but it's not wide enough that you need a pilot. It's under the, I don't even know what it is. Let's say when you have to have a pilot for oversized, it's 3.8. This is under that. I know it is because I talked to Jason yesterday about it, and yeah, they built it specifically so you don't need a pilot. The second thing is my hitch is a 1-inch pin, and this hitch is on the Earnshaw is a 2-inch. Excuse me. So not so bad when I'm driving along, but when I take off or you're slowing down, I'm getting a lot of shunting. It's not too bad, but when I get to a parking bay, which I don't think there's one too far away, I'm going to just get out, just hop around, make sure everything's going okay, make sure that the the hitch and everything looks alright, because it hasn't been used for 3 years, I think. The hitch has just been sitting there, so yeah, just have to make sure everything's all good on that side of things. There we go, we've got a car coming around now. But yeah, so that's the only thing. I am only sitting on 60 k's an hour because they, Jason said they use them about, they go about 70, 75 with the 10,000s. They haven't towed, personally, they haven't towed a 14. So yeah, I'm just taking it nice and steady, especially over this road here between Lake Grace and Newdigate. It's quite bumpy. Yeah, it's not the best of the roads. So yeah, just want to try and avoid as much bounce as possible. Now it hasn't got any bounce going at the moment. That 1,000 litres in the flush tank there is definitely helping that. But when you start off, you can definitely see how it could just progressively keep bouncing if it was empty and didn't have any weight. So yeah, no, all in all, so far going well. But when I get to a park bay, I'm going to stop, just check, make sure everything's all right. I do have the rattle gun here as well, because just there to check, make sure those wheel nuts are all good. Let's see how we're going back here. So the hitch is still here, so that's good. Nothing looks wrong with it at all. I didn't suspect anything would be wrong with it, but I just wanted to make sure with how we're going, tugging and all that. Just you never know. So I'll grab the rattle gun and we will get to tightening up these lug nuts, these wheel nuts, just to make sure that they are all good. And you can see just how wide I am. I'm half in the gravel, so off the bitumen with these tyres. So you can see by how dirty it already is, which is unfortunate, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm too far over. Everything was all good. So I'll get back on the road and we'll keep on traveling. I'm still only going to stay at that 60. Just I don't like that tugging feeling that I'm getting when I do have it. It's only when you're sort of accelerating or it decelerates for whatever reason off the cruise control. I'm just got cruise control set, so taking off now, it'll go and it'll tug on me. But yeah, other than that, she should be all right. So we'll just keep on rolling. Okay, we're on Cascade Road now. Just literally turned onto it. We've been on the gravel for 20 or 30 k's, whatever it is now, and just going to do a final check of the wheel nuts, because as we're on the gravel, it's bouncing around a bit more. So if they are, going to get loose or whatever, it would have been happening already. Now, one thing that I am noticing now that we're on the gravel, and it's going to slow me down, is when we get to a rough section of gravel, I can just feel it. So you can see I've got play in the hitch there, because I've only got a 1-inch pin on a 2-inch hole, and I'm feeling this tug a lot more whenever I go over bad bumpy ground. This isn't going to be too bad until I get to Lake Tay Road, and then in the last 30 k's I reckon I'm only going to be sitting on about 30 k's an hour, something like that, because I'm going to feel it. It's not going to be very fun, but yeah, I've just stuck on 60 k's the whole way home. Any faster than that and it just gets a bit dodgy. This thing is as wide as the road, like your lane on a road, so there's no room to move, no room for error. So yeah, we'll do a final check and get back in, get roaring. All the nuts were all good, no movement whatsoever. So the next time I'll check them is when we check all the wheel nuts on the seeder and the seed bin as well, when it comes to seeding, because yeah, they haven't moved now, they're not going to move, which is good. So yeah, it's currently 3:45. I'm going to guess it's going to be like 5:30, something like that, by the time I get home. Yeah, this turned into a whole day event, but at least I've got the I will get this back by the end of the day. And another thing is it has been drizzling all day. I don't know how much I've had at home. Definitely the guys up at Lake King and Newdigate have had I wouldn't say a fair bit of rain, but there was puddles on the road on the way up and on the way back, so those guys have had a nice little drink, which is good. Talking to Rhiannon on the phone, I think we've only had I think it's just been sort of this like misty stuff that I'm getting on the window now, so nothing really to report, but could be pleasantly surprised. We could have had a couple of mils. I guess I'll find that out when I get home. But time to set the cruise control, keep on roaring. Well, we made it back, and I nearly lost a step. Look at that. That's how rough the road was. So as you can see, it's basically 5:30 now that the truck's cooled down. It's 5:32. That last stretch was diabolical. It was rough. But we got it back in one piece, so it's here. It's dirty. It's going to need a wash. I'll give it a bit of a spritz tomorrow, I reckon, with the fire unit, just to. Oh no! I just thought a bolt had come off, but no, they've got their brackets on the angle, so that's all right. But yeah, give it a spritz tomorrow just to get that dirt off. After will pick it up tomorrow, the next day, take it into town to get it hooked up to the bar. And hook it all up, get the liquid going, making sure she's all good. But yeah, super excited for seeding. Hopefully it rains, but I'm super excited for going with the liquid and the new bar, seed placement, the new bin from Earnshaw as well, with being able to fill the seeder just a lot quicker and more efficient than what we could. It's going to be a whole new learning experience for us, so yeah, it's something I'm super excited for. And if you guys yourselves are looking for maybe next year for Earnshaw liquid cart or Earnshaw seed and cert bin, then follow along, because obviously I'm going to be using them all through seeding, and you're going to get a get the honest review of how they go, which they're going to be fantastic. But you'll be able to see how they go and how they work in in my environment anyway. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like, make sure you share it to someone, and I'll catch you in the next one.